Hola chicos! In this video we'll be looking at concordancia. The objective here is that by the end of the video you'll understand what concordancia is and you can apply it in context, okay? So first you're thinking, concordancia, I have no idea what that is. Well, in English we would call it agreement, which probably doesn't clear anything up for you either. And that's because we don't really apply agreement in English. So it's kind of a foreign concept for us, and that's okay. So what I want you to think about is retraining your brain that don't consistently think, well, in English we do it this way, because that doesn't matter. We have to think, how do they do it in Spanish? Because that's what we want to achieve, right? To speak in Spanish. So you've got to kind of eliminate the part of your brain that's going to say, well, in English it's this way, because that doesn't matter, okay? So what we're going to talk about today is gender and number. All right. Now in English, we do have different numbers. We have singular and plural. For example, if I'm talking about the house, talk about the house, that's one. Or I could talk about all the houses on the street. That's 2 or 10 or a million, right? So we do have this number concept. But something we don't have in English is gender. So if I say the house is neither masculine or feminine, right? It just is. It's a neutral gender. But in Spanish, that's not the case. So what we're going to find is that a lot of, when we describe these words, for example, the house, la casa, we have to make sure that our adjective, our describing word, matches in gender and in number. So let's look at an example here. Oh, that's my battery getting low. So here we have a masculine form, a feminine form, a singular masculine form, a plural masculine form, and a plural feminine form. So all of our adjectives or describing words, like tall, purple, fun, all of those have 4 versions, okay? And we're going to choose which one do we know to use? Well, we're going to base that on the word that we're describing. So I'll give you an example here. We'll continue to use alto, which means tall. And we'll look at la chica. If we're describing la chica, we can see that that's a singular word and then it's feminine because it starts with la. So we have to use the singular feminine version, alta, right? Los chicos, that's plural because we got those S's on there. Son, and looks like it's masculine because it's los, so we're going to use altos. See if you pause the video and see if you can do the last one real quick. Once you've completed, go ahead and unpause. That's right, you got las chicas son altas because that is feminine and plural, and el chico is singular masculine alto. So you can see how we would use each 4 versions of this word, this adjective, depending on the thing that we're talking about, right? So let's look at some more examples. Let's look at gender specifically. We're going to say the moon is white, and we would translate that as la luna es blanca. So what you're going to do, the way you are going to apply concordancia is you're going to look at the thing that you are describing, which is, in this case, we would call it a noun, right? A person, place, or thing. La luna in Spanish is feminine. It just is. There's no options. So I need to make sure that blanca is also feminine, okay? So we're having this concordancia here. They're both singular, they're both feminine. If I want to talk about the sun is yellow, well, the sun is masculine. So whatever word I use to describe the yellow, whether it's big or yellow or tremendous, that needs to be masculine as well, okay? So we'll notice that we start off with the thing we're talking about, the noun, el sol, and then we add in our adjective, our describing word, in this case, yellow, amarillo. Okay, we have to have that agreement. Now there are exceptions to words that don't really have gender, to adjectives, and that is one of those are azul, which is the color blue, and verde, which is the color green. You're not going to say azula and azulo. Everything is azul, whether it's feminine like la luna, or whether it's masculine like el sol. Okay, so there are exceptions to this rule, and we'll just get used to those and we'll learn those as we go. Okay. Now let's look at the number. The moon is white. Pretty straightforward. We already know la luna es blanca. This time we're going to concentrate on the fact that la luna is singular, and therefore whatever word we choose for white, in this case blanca, also has to be singular. If we were to go plural, the moons are white. Well, lunas is plural, and therefore blanca has to turn into blancas to be plural as well. Okay, so we've got concordancia in number, agreement. You hear me on one of your assignments say you need to check your concordancia, this is what I'm talking about. It's either number or gender. Those are the two things you need to look at, okay? In order to make things plural, it's super easy. For the most part, you're going to add an S if it ends with a vowel. If it ends in A, E, I, O, or U, like blanca, just make it blancas. Easy peasy. If it ends in a consonant, so anything that's not a vowel, then you need to add ES, azules. Okay? It's pretty straightforward. So again, we were looking at how all of these words have agreement in gender and in number. And real quick, there's one more thing I want to point out to you if you'd like to make a connection to English, is that even though we don't change this word, our adjective, for number, so that seems kind of weird to us, we do change our verb for number. So we do use a little bit of concordancia or agreement in English. We just don't look at it that way, okay? So that's all for today. If you have any questions for me, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye.